Oh, hi. It's you. What do you want? What? Huh? You want me, a teacher with 27 years of traditional classroom experience, to make a website that communicates information to parents and students? Flip the classroom? Hold on a second. Dude, it's time for Ed Tech Talk with Mr. Dan, and I'm Mr. Dan. We'll talk later. Bye. Okay, so you need to make a classroom website. Here's what I would do. I'd go to your Google account and use Google Sites. Why? Well, because it's kind of nice to have all your Google Docs and your site together. They integrate well, and it's free, and I like free stuff. So, I don't know if you saw what I just did, but when I went to the app board, I went to Google Sites. It took me to this page. Here's a list of sites I already have made. If you haven't made any, there'll be some tutorial kind of stuff there. But just click on Create. Don't worry about these templates. Go straight to blank template. Put in your site name. We'll call it Mr. Dan's Wonderful Class Site. Okay, then you come down. You have to prove that you are not a robot, and so you type in, oops, still in the wrong window there, come down here. I think that's what it says, and we will create. And then you wait, because it's cloud-based. Do a lot of waiting. So, how's the weather? And it's still creating. Okay, here we go, boom. Notice it's kind of bland looking up there. So what we're gonna do is come over here, and one of the things you need to learn if you're doing a lot of Google Sites, there's kind of like 3 areas where you do a lot of your editing and modifications to the site. One is the Manage Site place, which we will come down here, and you come to Manage Site now. Under Manage Site, you go to Themes, Colors, and Fonts. And then you wait. Not too long this time. All right. Now, what I want to do here is come to Base Theme. Here they have lots of nice little themes, templates, you might say, to pick from, and I'm very fond of rounders. I like it. It's simple. It's kind of classy looking in my mind. Now you can modify that by coming in to these areas and playing around with your background and your text, and you can change to other options, but just leave it for theme for right now. We're trying to do this quickly and simply. So once I've selected my theme, I just say save. And it says your changes have been saved up here. You have to go back with this button here to the home page. And what we have now is just a very simple one-page website. You edit this page as you do all these pages when they're up in front of you on display with that edit button. And you get your typical text editing tools here. Although you do have your HTML button, which if you know coding, you can come in and play around with. Generally, I leave that alone. And you can just enter text like, hi, welcome to my site, bingo. Amsterdam, comma, I will be your classroom teacher this year. Whoopee. Okay, I want to add a page, so I'm going to come over here to create page. And I have to name it. I'm going to call it homework. Now you can change the format of the page, or the page template. Page template they call it. You have your basic web page, you have announcements, which allow you to make separate little edits with dates, and that's probably what we'll use for homework, so that we can have an archive of sorts of the homework pages. File cabinet's nice if you have like PDF files or worksheets you want them to download, and maybe we'll make one of those later. But let's use announcements. And then you have to select a location. Generally, it just puts it at the top level. I kind of want to put this under home page. Alright, so we should save, and it says please wait. Now I have my homework page, and notice it has this new post button on it. And there are currently no posts. Now here's where we're going to get interactive, and we're going to flip a lesson. I'm going to go to new post, and you get this page, this new posting page. It looks very much like the home page. We're going to call this we'll give it a date, April 7, 2015, and then I'll give it a distinctive title of how laws are made. Okay, maybe I'm teaching a government class. So if I click down into the main text box here, I'm going to insert, and I'm going to come over, I'm going to say YouTube. Now, before I started this video, I jumped to YouTube and I found one of my favorite little videos for teaching government, and that's called I'm Just a Bill, Schoolhouse Rock, from way back when I was a little boy. So I'm going to copy the URL for that video. I'm going to come in, paste that in this window that popped up when I inserted a YouTube video. Now I'm going to delete some of these borders, title options. I'm going to make it fairly large. And then I hit save. Now I have a little alignment and text wrap on and off choices here. I'll center it. And then I'll click save. Alright. Any second now, there's the video. So now the kids, when they come to this homework page, as they should do every evening, they can watch this video directly from the site. But still, I haven't really made it interactive. I need to get that two-way street thing going. They need to be able to give me information from this website. So I need to use a form. If you are not familiar with forms, watch my video on forms. But I'll give you a quick rundown. I've already made a form. It's just a simple thing that I made to go along with this. So I'm going to edit this page. I'm going to scroll down, go behind and under the YouTube video. Now I'm going to go insert, come over here to Drive, and say Form. Now, as I said, I made a simple form earlier called I'm Just a Bill. I click on it, and I don't really need these options again. The width, if you leave it empty, it'll make it as wide as it needs to be, which is what I want. Height, I'm going to put in 1000 pixels, and I hit save. Now again, I get these options about word wrapping and alignment. I'm going to align it and hit save. And now there's my video, and underneath it are some questions. Not a very extensive set of questions. In fact, it's really just one question. I have enter your name, not really a question. And then I have what is the first step in becoming a law. Now, of course, if I had more time, I would have made this, a 10-question quiz, multiple choice perhaps. And now what I want to do is give the kids some instructions. Again, I'm going to come back to edit. I'm going to go in front of the YouTube, and I'm just going to put in some directions. Something like, watch this fun video on how laws are made in the USA. Then answer the questions below the video. Be ready to discuss the law making process tomorrow in class. Okay, now maybe I want to bold that, make it a little bigger. And I'm done, so I hit save. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. It's still saving. Now you could use forms to do other things, like what I like to do at the beginning of the year is get a list of emails from the parents, because I can't always get that from the office, or they give me old ones. So if I put a little form here and address it to the parents, and they know to come to the website, then I can collect all their emails quite simply, without paper, without harassing notes going home. They just log in, they see it, type it in, it gets dumped in a spreadsheet that I have access to. And for some reason we're having trouble saving. There it goes. Okay. And there's my directions, the video, the questions. We have flipped a lesson. Simple. But I'm not too happy with the layout here. We need to change some things. I want to put some tabs across the top. I want to get rid of this sidebar. I don't like sidebars. Don't ask me why, I just don't. Now, as I said before, there's 3 ways to edit in Google Sites, 3 major ways. We've talked about using this edit button on the page itself, and we've used the manage site, but there's also this edit site layout. When you come in here, notice we get this bar across here, and 2 of these 4 buttons are highlighted. If they're highlighted, that means they're activated. The header, for example, is activated. If I click it off, ooh, my header disappeared. I'm headless. Let's put it back on. Whew, better. I said I don't like this sidebar, so I'm going to deactivate the sidebar. Nos vemos. Okay, but I do want a horizontal navigation bar, so I'm going to click that on. There's also a custom footer that I don't usually use. Maybe I will someday. Now notice when I activated horizontal navigation, it gave me the home button. Now if I close this, now I have my home button, I click on it. It takes me home. But what about my home work page? I can access it down here, but I'd like to have that up here. So once again, I'm going to come in, go to Edit Site Layout, highlight, don't come here again, that'll turn it off. You have to come in here, highlight it, and click it. Now here is how you put tabs on here. First of all, you have styles. I like tabs, not boxes. I'm going to click tab. Now here I want to add a page. Now you get a site map down here. I'm going to click on home. There's my homework page. I'm going to add that. So I highlight it and say OK. Now it's up here. It says select pages to show. Now I have 2 pages showing. And when I say OK, watch what happens to our horizontal navigation. There we go. They've changed the tabs, and now I have two of them, home and, well, sorry, you gotta close this before you can actually use it, homework. Oh, and here's our homework assignment for the day. Cool, huh? Now, what if I want to make this under home, like I go to home and then there's a drop-down menu? Well, that also, you come to the edit site layout, you highlight the menu bar, the horizontal navigation bar. Now notice these are indented the same distance here. You have some buttons here. Well, these up and down ones just change the order from right to left as they will appear on the horizontal navigation bar, but I want this to actually be under home. I want to use that drop down menu. So now I use this sideways arrow, indents it. So it's like an outline. It's a subtopic of home now. And we say OK. Watch the horizontal. Now we're back to just one tab. But when I close this and I come to home and hover over it, oh, I can either click on home, which takes me to the home page, or I can come on down to homework and click on that, and I have access to the homework page. So there you go. Let's make another page now. I want to call this resources page. And now I'm going to change this to a file cabinet. And I'm going to put it under homework. I'm going to create it. And this is what a resource page looks like. You can add files. If I add a file, maybe I've got lots of pictures to pick from. I don't really need pictures, maybe documents. Maybe I have an award certificate for some reason. Okay, so I click that. It's a Microsoft Word document. Open it. It's uploading and uploading and uploading and uploading and uploading. Okay, now I have an award certificate on here. You can view it or download it. You can add things directly from your drive. Alright, here's a document I was working on with my daughter the other day, just statement of purpose, let's call it. We'll just use that as an example. I've added that. Once I get a list of these resources, I can manipulate it. Maybe I want to have tutorial sites or downloadable handwriting sheets or something. I can make a folder. We'll just call this documents. Boom, and save it. And now I can highlight this and move it to the documents folder. So now I can move that one in there too. It's a document also. So boom. Now I have documents. And I can categorize all my stuff. Maybe I have games, maybe I have documents, maybe I have sites. And you can show them by clicking it. Now, what's neat here is that you can subscribe to changes on this. You can have your users subscribe to this. They get a little email each time somebody adds, in this case me, each time I add a document to this page, they'll get an email if they have subscribed to the changes on this. Okay, so now we've made our resources page. I want to put that tab up here. I need to close that. And I'm going to come back to Edit Site Layout. And we highlight the bar. I'm going to add a page. It's under homework, I believe. There's the resources page. Okay. You know, I think I'll just have all these available as tabs across the top. I'm not crunched for space, and I think if I leave it as a drop-down menu, people won't find it. So, I'll make each of these home, homework, and resource pages tabs across the top here. Now, if you notice there's a URL over here too. Let's just see what that does. Put in a text, maybe I'll just put in YouTube. For example, in the URL, and I'm just using this because I know the URL by heart. Maybe I want that to open in another window and say OK. And now I say OK to this, and let's watch that horizontal navigation bar. Okay, I don't like the order of that, so I'm going to click on it again, and I'll take YouTube down below. OK. Think of home, homework, resource page, YouTube. There. So now we've made a very simple page. On the home page I could, whoops, gotta close this thing. On the home page I can send notes to the parents, and now I have my interactive homework for flipping lessons. I've got a resource page so kids can't say I lost the homework sheet. The worksheet, whatever I might have sent home with them, I can have a copy of it here available, and I can link to other sites here for them. Don't know if YouTube's the best example of what a teacher should have their students linking to, but that's what I did. Now, there's a couple other things we need to talk about, and that's, hi, it's me again. This time I'm from tomorrow. I've come back to interrupt the video and keep you from listening to me from last night making this convoluted, hard to follow explanation about permissions on the Google sites. So listen to me, not him, and then I'll get out of here and you can continue watching me from yesterday, which is really now, and I'm from tomorrow. Got it? Okay. This site, as it is open to the general public, which is a wonderful thing, but, and this is a big but, when you're dealing with kids, you've got to respect their privacy. So, at our school, we have certain rules, like only publish first names, no photographs without parental consent, and absolutely no schedules and stuff open to the general public. Check with your tech director at your school for the details of what they allow or suggest. Now, to find out how to control who sees what on the site, come to the gear icon, slide down to sharing and permissions, and click on it, and you wait. Okay, this is what you should see. Right here it says public on the web. Anyone on the internet can find and view. Now you can change this right here. You can change it so that only people with a link, with the URL, can access it. It won't go through Google search engines and stuff. Or you can have only people that you invite see it. And if you click specific people and say save, and wait, and wait, and wait a little longer. Come on, there we go. Now you get this little bar down here where you invite people by their email addresses, and then it's only you and the people invited can see the site. But what if I want part of my site open to the general public and part of it to just my students, and maybe part just for me and the co-teacher and my partner? So, I'll show you how to do that. First of all, we need to change this back to public. Okay? That will be sort of the default setting, the beginning, the most open. Okay? We set everything to wide open again. Now we're going to come over here and go enable page level permissions. And when you do that, this window pops up and it has a little getting started guide that I suggest you read, as do they, but I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the page level permissions. This now gives me the ability to go page by page and narrow down who gets to see what. Okay, so here's our site. The home page, we'll click on that. Okay, it says use the same permissions as the entire site. Sounds good to me. I don't mind if people see the home page. In fact, they have to see the home page. That's the default page. But if I come down lower than that, I click on the sitemap. Now I can go to homework. Now here I want to change that. I don't want it to use the same permissions as home, so I'm going to change that. And I have to come down here and say use custom permissions. Now add new users to this page. Do not use. I'm going to leave it on add new users to this page. We hit save. And now you'll see the icon on my map has changed. That means it's narrowing it down now from home. I have a more select group here. How do I want this? Do I want public? Anyone on the net can view and find? No, I want to change that to just specific people. Now this only applies to the homework level page. To the homework page. Okay. Now it says only I can access this. I don't see an option here to add people. To do that, I got to come back up. And even though this is open to the public, you'll see it says invite people. I'm going to invite myself using my school email, pretending that I'm somebody else. And I don't want them to edit, I just want them to have viewing rights, so I'm going to change that from edit to view. And I can notify them by email, doesn't matter. Usually you do that so they're aware. Okay, now even though this top level is open to the whole world, I've invited another person to see it. Now they're on my list. When I come down to homework, all right, now I have specific people can access it. Who are they? That's me and the person I invited. In fact, at this point, I could change them to an editor if I want. And by the way, you can do this with groups too. If I had my whole classroom, the students had, if they had emails and I had them in a group called 6th grade classroom or whatever, Mr. Dan's 6th grade classroom, I could add a whole group here and allow them to see this page, and only that group and myself could see this page at this point. Okay, does that make sense? Are you following me? Am I going too fast? All right, now we're going to come down. Now, resource pages, maybe I only want myself to see this. So when I come down to here, I have to tell it if I want to change this. I do want to change it from homework. Custom. Add new users. Do not add new users. I guess I'll leave that option open. I'm going to come over here and delete. Now I'm going to change it from view to edit. Maybe this guy's going to edit on resource pages. Or maybe I'm going to cancel them all together and it's just going to be me seeing this resource page. And when you do these changes, you're supposed to be saving. And there you go. So now I have a site that anybody in the world can find the home page and read what's on there. Only select people can view the homework, and on resource pages it's just myself. That's how you do it. It's a little goofy, but it works. Now, One more thing I want to talk about with these classroom websites. It's always been a challenge to me to get kids to remember how to get to the website, and parents too. Sometimes parents are worse than the kids. On our school portal page, which the parents are pretty used to looking at, we have links directly, a teacher name and picture. You click on it, it takes them to their classroom website. Sometimes parents don't like to do that, and the students, they want to go directly to it. Well, what you do is you come to your home page and you can just highlight, copy the URL here and paste it several times on a piece of paper, print it up, cut the strips, glue it in their notebook, because they'll lose it if you just give them a piece of paper, and hopefully they'll be able to type it in correctly. Unfortunately, Google URLs, unless you own the domain, tend to be fairly lengthy. You can pay $10 a year and get your own domain and have it something very concise like www.mrdan.com. But most of us don't want to plunk down $10. We like the free stuff. So on your Google, typical Google site, when you go to through your private account, will look something like this with sites.google.com/site/site name. If you're doing it through your school domain, it'll have your school domain and then some other stuff on there. And actually, sometimes that's longer than when you have just your standard Google account URL. So that's a bit of a challenge. But if you coach your kids on how to type correctly and bookmark once they've got there, before long the whole class will be going to the site, doing the homework. It does take a little bit of effort and time. And you, as a teacher, need to maintain your site. If you only touch it once a month, they're going to lose interest in it. You have to get in the routine of putting information in here, keeping it up to date. When I started doing websites like this in my classroom, it just became part of the daily routine. The kids would come in and do board work. I would get on here, make sure the words of the week were in here. I put the spelling and vocabulary words in. I would, at lunchtime, take a quick look at it, make sure the homework was up to date, and so on and so forth. So you have to put a little effort in this to keep it going, but it's a wonderful tool. Kids are sick, they go on vacation, they can still keep up with homework. You can flip the lessons like we saw. You can collect information from parents and students alike. You can put games, fun stuff on here too, a summer reading list, whatever. It's hard for me to imagine teaching without a class site at this point. And I think once you get in the routine of doing it, you'll see what a powerful tool it is. All right, now, I'm out of here. We'll catch you later. This is Mr. Dan from tomorrow. Bye-bye. So there you go. I hope it's useful to you. I think Google Sites is one of the most useful things about the Google account. It's the most exciting thing for me. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can use it. And I'm Mr. Dan. I'll catch you next time on Ed Tech Talk with Mr. Dan. Bye-bye.